And you have to remember that Solomon's son never saw the Ark of the Covenant. Only the high priest saw the Ark of the Covenant once a year, and he didn't see it without taking a fire pan full of smoking incense, laying it before the Ark of the Covenant so that that cloud would cover the cloud of glory so he wasn't blinded and wasn't killed. And when he came out, there is no record of the high priest ever making a dashboard model of it. But yet Solomon's son made a replica of the Ark of the Covenant. He got it all the way into the Holy of Holies, and then took the real ark and got it all the way down into Ethiopia. Now the real miracle is he made such a good copy that the glory of the Lord remained over the fake ark for nearly 500 years. So he actually made a copy of the ark so good it fooled God. So if you buy that story, I've got a bridge for sale in Brooklyn that I can make you a real nice deal on. But yet, that is what is being promulgated out there. Tonight, I'm going to show you what has been found and the details of these things. Because as we were out in his home late that night, he said that the Arabs panicked when this water began flowing into these 4 cisterns. They had no idea what was going on, and this shot shows what I took the very next morning, got up early, went up on the Temple Mount, and right after the Muslim hours of prayer, then they set up an apparatus to lower down a big pump into each of these 4 cisterns, and all day long pumping the water out because they were afraid that it may be undermining the foundation of the Dome of the Rock. Now, what happened, as you see in the background, you see the pumps being set up, the tractor bringing the equipment up there early in the morning, and what Eduardo said is that not knowing what had happened, the Arabs knew that they had put a water line in on the Temple Mount several years ago, and they thought perhaps that that water line had ruptured. Excavating in this area, the Temple Treasures Institute had men that got up there and took pictures of this water line that had gone in a straight line until the Arabs had run into these huge foundation stones and had to shift that water line over to go around these huge foundation stones. With those photographs and knowing already where the northern foundation of Solomon's temple was, they said at that time then they could accurately measure it, and they knew that the southern foundation of Solomon's temple had been uncovered, and that the ancient stone underneath the Dome of the Spirits, which you see, which is the Dome of the Spirits is where the red arrow is, that stone under there is in the middle of the Holy of Holies of Solomon's temple. And so it is that I got up there the next morning and began photographing. I went into that. He said that if you go into that Dome of the Spirits, that they will immediately throw you out. So what I did, first thing in the morning, I came up there and I stood right in the middle of that. Within a few moments, there was a very irate Arab that ran out and told me, "Get out of there, get out of there." And I looked around and said, "Who, me?" And I'm going to carry this on as long as possible. He came all the way around and refused to speak to me until I stepped out. And I said, "Well, why? What is this?" And he said, "You can read about it." And I thought he was going to give me a brochure or something. And I said, "Where?" "In books, now leave." So I did. I left in a big circle, came back, and began taking pictures. On the right-hand side, there you see the approximate area where that water line was in, and then underneath the Dome of the Spirits is that huge stone which is underneath the Dome of the Spirits. It is in a direct line with the Mercy Gate. The Golden Gate, the Mercy Gate, right down the middle, which again shows the location concerning Solomon's temple. Now, as we look at the same thing, we have the dome, and then we have that straight line that goes right straight out, the Eastern Gate or the Mercy Gate. Of course, the Mercy Gate has been all blocked up, and the Arabs have put a graveyard there to keep the Messiah from coming through the gate. You're like, that will work. But Herod's temple and the Dome of the Rock are south of the Kotel arches. This is the Wailing Wall, or the Kotel, the wall, and you see that dark line above the red line that we put there from the oils on our foreheads and hands touching the wall there, and you see where the seam of the wall is on that gold line, and to the south is the location of the Dome of the Rock. That is where Herod's temple was built. But this is showing the location of Solomon's temple, which is north of the Kotel arches, and north of the Dome of the Rock. And you see that everything below that red line is now under about 30 to 40 feet of debris. The Temple of Solomon, why this is so important is because this is the location where the Ark of the Covenant resided. Solomon built the temple to put the Ark of the Covenant in, and you're going to see some things tonight that we've been waiting 3,000 years to understand.
Michael Rood will return with some closing thoughts in just a moment.
The Ark of the Covenant is indisputably the most holy object on planet Earth. We have been warned throughout the pages of the Hebrew Scriptures that the Ark of the Covenant is not to be trifled with in any manner. Jeremiah states that the Ark of the Covenant will no longer come to mind at the time when the Messiah is reigning in Jerusalem. But until that day, the Ark of the Covenant will continue to hold great prophetic significance for the last days. What you learn in upcoming episodes of this program will become your responsibility to handle with respect. What you will soon see and hear will change your life forever. We invite you to join us again next time for Episode 9 in the 26-part series on the Prophecies in the Feast of the Lord, the great secret of Solomon's Temple, and the hiding of the Ark of the Covenant. This is Michael Rood from Jerusalem, bidding you shalom, peace, and I'll see you when the smoke clears.